Topes writes, what if movies were directed for Netflix instead of cinemas, more runtime and development?
I don't think you'd really see all that much more runtime. I think, look, there's a way to tell a good story, and the art of filmmaking is being able to tell. And this is, I talk about this a lot. This is the big difference between television and movies. Okay, even movies made for television. With television, you have a little bit more of a luxury in the fact that you have a universe of time. You can tell your story whatever pace you want. You can bring in this important character in episode 6 if you want, and all that kind of stuff. The art of filmmaking is on. This is just my opinion, is on another level. Because you got 2 hours, roughly, give or take a little bit, and you got roughly 2 hours to do it all, to introduce your story, introduce all your characters, get you emotionally attached to them, introduce what the plot, the conflict is going to be, how they overcome the conflict and come to a resolution of the story. You got 2 hours to do it. And I think even with films being directed for Netflix, I think directors, at least the good ones, are still bringing that mentality, the storyteller's mentality into it. So I honestly don't think you're going to see it change it all that much. I'm sure there'll be some procedural differences, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think the heart of the storyteller, like I know like Schnepp has the heart of a storyteller, and I think he's going to tell his story regardless if it's going to be on a big screen here or a small screen there. I don't know, Schnepp, how do you see it?
Yeah, as far as a feature, I mean, especially with a documentary, I just finished a doc. You have to keep it at a certain length because it's there's so much coming at the viewer that it becomes draining. If you have an Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 story structure, which is different, I think you can make it like 2.5 hours if it's told really well. Like we just saw Jobs, the Steve Jobs movie. Now, to me, I thought it was a really good film. The acting was incredible. The script was great. The directing was fantastic. But I wanted more. There was something about it where I just wanted maybe one. I mean, and that's just me, but I just wanted a few more scenes of flashbacks, a little bit more that established why Jobs was the way he was with his family or with Wozniak and all these other characters. I really liked the film, but if it was made for Netflix and they could have just expanded it even another 30 minutes, I think it might have serviced the story a lot better. So you might see those kind of changes with Netflix, with movies. Maybe they'll do the 3-hour epic or break it into 3 episodes or make 2 mini movies as opposed to 1 big movie. So, I mean, those are the changes I see.
I agree with you, Schnepp, too. I think that like eventually this is where we're going to go. I mean, even look at like Adam Sandler, who's got a deal now making movies for Netflix. I think more and more people will be doing movies for Netflix eventually. Like, look, if someone like Scorsese ever did a movie for Netflix, a lot of times his cuts are 3 hours, 3 hours and 20 minutes, and he has to cut it down for theatrical runs and everything. Right. He won't have to do that. Now, there are some times that I think it, like you guys are saying, it should fit the mold because there are attention spans for viewers. Like you go to a Scorsese movie and you even click on, you're probably gonna get a longer movie, and you'll because that's just his style.
Or
and
Peter Jackson or something,
right? Like that. And you're ready for it. If it becomes a thing, like now, I still think that sometimes you walk into a movie and everyone's going, "How long is this? 2:20, 2:30? Why is it that long?" You hear that all the time. 2:40. Why is it that long?
Our own Ray. Our graphics guy, like the first question, whenever we ask him, you want to go to the movie? The first question you ask, how long is it?
Yeah.
If it's over like 2 hours and 1 minute, nah, man, no, just no. I can't do a movie that long.
But there is, and I think that it will happen, but also there's a sense. It doesn't want to be too dangerous. You have a chance to be dangerous by people going, "Oh, no time limit, just do whatever you want to do," because studios hold people to time limits also, and it's great to see Shoes Beef the Bird back.
Wait, I thought he was called Clocky.
Clocky, the Collider Twitter bird. Somebody sent me a message and says, "Send Clocky the Twitter bird back to Marvel." All right. Let's go through a few more.
All right, ASAP Josh writes, "What is the scariest movie that you only watched one time because it's so frightening?" Mine is The Conjuring.
No, I've never had one that I enjoyed so much because it was so scary that I would go back and watch it again. American Werewolf in London, The Descent, films. Those are my two favorite horror films. If a horror film can really, really scare you, that means it's great, and I'm going to watch it again. So I don't have any that I thought was a great horror movie and never watched again. Do you guys?
I have one, but I'll say I like what you said. Movies that scare me, I love, and I'll see again and again and again. And they're rare. I mean, it started for me like way back in Nightmare on Elm Street. That scared me. The idea that a guy can get into your brain and kill you in your sleep. That was freaky. The Descent, just those ladies like crawling through the tunnels. That's scary enough. I don't even need a monster. It's like, you're insane. Why are you crawling through these like tiny tunnels?
That movie terrified. You're right. Long before the monster showed up.
Before the creature showed up, those girls are like, I'm like, insanity. So, but I'll say this, one movie that really freaked me out like 3, maybe 4 years ago, is called Martyrs. Now, you have to be over 18 to see this film. And it's not that it's necessarily like scary. It's just mentally brutal and it's horrifying. So I've only seen it once and I was like, never see it again. I felt like I got what it was trying to say and it was really messed up. So that's the one I would say.
The Strangers was one for me. It's a really,
really?
good movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just it was I love the movie. It's a really good movie, but I remember seeing, it was the one movie I saw. I remember seeing it in the theater, and I saw also Century City, and it was the one movie I just sat there in the credits like, what? And like the credits are going. Normally I get up and I'll go. I'm just sat there going, what?
Because it's such a bummer ending.
Such a bummer ending, and it's so real that you're just like. I remember. I don't know if I need to see it again.
I agree with you on that
It's super, super creepy. And the other one, which I don't know, is necessarily a horror movie, and I always forget that Monica Bellucci.
I know.
Irreversible.
Irreversible.
Yeah,
that's a movie to me.
Another crushing film.
It's a horror movie in a way because it's so.
It's a hard movie.
It's a
to
tough
watch.
movie to watch, and it's so graphic, and it is also terrifying in general for many people. I saw it once. I remember saying powerful, but. No thanks.
Let me get another one in there. Requiem for a Dream. That's
Yeah.
like if you're like feeling really bummed out about your life, see that movie. You'll feel better. You'll feel way better about your life and really bust it up about those people's lives. Like the two old ladies crying on the bench at the end. Tell me you don't have tears in your eyes.
Jared Leto.
My love.
And a little bit of trivia about Requiem for a Dream. The score, that one piece from
Clint
Requiem for a
Mansell.
Dream,
Yeah.
has been used in what, 730 trailers?
So many.
That's right.
So, like, it's always in that.
Yeah.
It's like, actually, I'm just curious. Have you ever seen a movie? What's the scariest movie you
I
ever
was going to
saw?
ask you guys. I have this thing. Okay, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I
yeah.
think it's called.
Very well done.
All possession movies, they freak me out. I feel like when I watch them, I'm gonna get possessed. Like God's like, oh, why are you watching that? You're gonna get possessed now, and then I get scared. I'm like, I'm gonna get possessed. Now I feel like I'm gonna get possessed even talking about it.
I think you are
all
going to
those-
get
You look
possessed.
like you're getting agitated
Yeah.
right now.
Guys, I burped in the conference room. She's like, "Oh my god, I sound like an
No,
exorcist."
do it. Do it.
I'm not doing it now.
Do it now.
I gotta do it. Let's say I can do it.
No, come on.
Ashley,
You'll sign off like that.
Ashley wants guys to perform on demand. I'm not going
I
to go
do.
anywhere beyond that. So anyway, okay, what else we got? Let's do some rapid fire.
Louis writes, "What is the best spin-off movie?"
Oh, that's a great question. Best spin-off movie. It's hard to think of some
Yeah,
spin-off
no
movies.
pressure.
Certainly not. So this is 40.
No, this is
Would the
40 minutes too
Avengers
long.
be a spin-off of the other four
Yeah.
films?
I
It's
mean,
more
it
like
would.
a culmination
that's
than
like-
a
yeah, that's kinda
spin-off.
cheap.
Creed. I haven't seen it yet.
Creed looks awesome.
Yeah.
That could be a
Oh,
great.
they had
spin-off movie.
the Jim Carrey God movie, and then
Yeah.
Steve
No.
Carell was in it.
Well,
That was
yeah,
pretty
no,
bad.
not
Pretty
so
bad, yeah.
good. I have to think about that. I mean, I can think of some good spin-off TV shows off the top of my head, but spin-off movies, that's good. All right, what's next?
Max Decker writes, "Hey guys, love the show. I was wondering, so far in 2015, which movie have you seen the most in theater?"
Okay, this is one of those crappy things where I'm going to have to open up the list of movies
Yeah.
that go open because I always forget.
Kingsman.
I could tell you right now,
Oh,
it was Mad
Kingsman.
Max Fury Road.
How many times did you see it?
3 times.
Okay, yeah, I saw Kingsman 2.5 times.
You saw Kingsman. Kingsman, I think I saw 4 times. Let me just
When
bring
did
up.
you see Ant-Man?
Oh yeah, Ant-Man. I saw Ant-Man 7 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ant-Man is the one that I saw the most this year. Okay, what's next?
Chelsea Neal writes, "Hello, was wondering if you've heard any whispers about the Magic the Gathering movie that's in the works."
No, other than the fact that it happened, I had a white blue deck. Other than I heard that at one point it was happening, I really haven't heard anything else since. So no more updates from me. I don't know if it's shelved or it's still in development.
Ellis would know. He's obsessed.
Oh, is he?
Oh,
he's
is
a
he a
big-
Magic the Gathering freakazoid?
Yeah, that and Tetris.
Yeah, I'm buying my cards
Oh,
online.
yeah. He'll know. Ask him.
All right.
All right, what's next?
What do you think of an adaptation of Grand Theft Auto?
Well, I mean, actually, here's the thing about Grand Theft Auto. You could make a movie and call it Grand Theft Auto and make it about anything you want it to be.
Yeah.
That's actually it's kind of like Warcraft that way. You can make Warcraft and you can use some of the characters, but you can actually make up any story you want and put it in there and still call it Warcraft. I think with Grand Theft Auto, you can make a really violent, gritty kind of street movie, like crime or whatever. You can put that in there and call it Grand Theft Auto and just take advantage of the brand name. I would be for it. I think it would be a smart move.
If they do it, I'd want it to be something like The Raid, you meet Scarface, meets Fast and the Furious.
And it would have to be ultra violent,
Yeah.
like beyond cathartic violence. Like there'd have to be like at least 5 scenes where people are like just in a car running over people in the streets
For no reason
For no
whatsoever.
reason. And it would just have to be that kind of high end.
Wouldn't be controversial at all.
Grand Theft can be many, many different films.
Schnepp was over at my place once, and he started playing Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, "What kind of evil are you?" And he's like, he's like,
That's right. Yeah, just like so much fun to murder. I don't know.
Okay, what's next?
Sorry, that last question came from Michael Sanders. I forgot to mention that.
We don't care. No, I'm kidding.
We love you, Michael.
We love you, Michael.
Jeremy Gold writes, "What was your guys' thoughts on Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl?"
Oh, I really liked it. It's one of those films that's tough to market. It just is. The title alone is, they probably should have given it a different title, because that wasn't going to that was actually probably going to alienate some people or intimidate some people. Good movie, deserved a better reception. No, it got a good reception, but just that nobody was at the reception. It deserved a better result than it got. It's a nice little film, and they should have marketed it a little bit better, changed the title, things like that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I really enjoyed the movie a lot. And what I thought, it was very, I really liked 50-50 when that movie came out as well, too. And what I liked about it is with the topic of cancer and people dying, is if it's just the sadness is overall sad, it's hard for the viewer to watch the whole thing. But when they mix it with real people who are dealing with it, and there's some light and there's some humor with it, combined with the seriousness of it, it makes for a good film. And I thought that's what Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl did really well.
Yeah, I missed it. I'm going to check it out. It's on video now, so I'm going to check it out.
All right, what's next?
Lucas 1 month writes, "How excited are you guys for Mockingjay Part 2, and how well do you think it will perform at the box office?"
I'm more excited for it than you might think, actually. I have been a big fan of the series. I'm actually not that big fan of the books. I thought the second two books were okay, maybe at best, but I really enjoyed the films up to this point. Now, my one criticism of the last one that we saw was that it felt like all set up. Even though I still loved the movie, my fear is that they're going to do what the final two Hobbit films did, which was like the second last one was just all set up, and the third one was just all payoff. But when you're just all payoff, it loses the emotional hook, because it's been a year since we saw the setup to this, sort of thing. So I'm a little bit worried about that. But overall, I've really enjoyed this franchise, and I'm very much. Now, how much will it make? Opening weekend, I think it's going to drop a bit. I think opening weekend, maybe 90. I think I could be off by 150 million. I don't know, but I'm going to guess 90.
Opening weekend, I think it'll do about 130. I think it's going to do pretty well. But I agree, and I also think that you should be hesitant about that happening, and I think it's going to happen. I think that you're going to have a lot of action, because it's a shorter book than the other two, and they split it into 2 pages because they're following that trend. But I actually really liked Mockingjay Part 1 and thought that it was all set up. But it's going to lead, when you watch Mockingjay 1 and 2 together, it's going to serve as a better experience. I just believe that, and I don't know what they're going to do with the story, if they're going to change it up. Normally they change up endings for certain books. I'm curious if they're going to do that for this one. But with this movie, I think when you watch it as a whole, even though it'll wind up being like a 5-hour movie when you watch it, I think it's like the way Kill Bill did.
Right.
I think that's what's going to serve you better. Although I do think that this is going to be a lot of action. We are going to get a payoff. So I am very excited about it, actually. It's one of the movies. There's only a handful left maybe that I really am dying to see, and that's absolutely one of them.
Yeah, I'm medium excited. I'm not like dying to see it, but when it comes out, I'll see it that first week. I think they're going to change the second act of the second part of the movie to make an actual feature film out of it, so it doesn't feel like the Hobbit, Lord of the Five Armies thing, where it was just like one continuous ending. I'm sure they changed it up so both films will stand alone as feature films, and then when you watch them together, it'll be a cohesive part 1, part 2.
All right, let's do 3 or 4 more, just rapid style here.
Shah Shahid writes, "Hey, I'm a huge fan of the show. My question is, do you think Batman and Superman will become friends at the end of the film?"
Oh, no doubt.
Yes.
Absolutely no doubt. They're going to battle it out. But then remember, they're calling it Dawn of Justice. They're going to lay the groundwork for Justice League, and you can't lay the groundwork if they're still fighting each other.
Right. I think they'll fight each other. Superman will blow Batman's head off, and then the end, and there's nothing else left.
That's the end of the franchise. DCU ends right there.
DCU ends. No, they'll be friends.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Chris Jurdiz writes, "What are some films that you may have watched when you were younger and have understood better as a more developed adult?"
Jaws, because as a little kid watching Jaws, it's like, "Ooh, scary monster!" But then when you watch Jaws now, it's like, this is a brilliant film.
Yeah,
with
Chinatown.
Characters, depth. Chinatown's another
I
good
was going to say
one.
Chinatown. I have to think about it still, but I was going to go Chinatown. Jaws is a good one, though.
Yeah, I mean, that,
I gotta
you
think
see
about it.
more things than that the older you get.
that
I want to
movie-
revisit, Close Encounters, because I haven't seen Close
that's
Encounters.
another one,
I
yeah.
haven't seen it in so long, and I remember I saw it when I was a lot younger, and I like this, but then everyone raves about it all the time, how great it is. I've got to go and rewatch that movie.
It's so worth rewatching,
Yeah.
mainly because of Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
he's so good.
literally like his storyline. I mean, but like that was his movie. You know, it's like it's Close Encounters. You remember it for all these effects and the little creatures, and you know, with the dee, 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 dee. But honestly, when you watch it as an adult, you're like, wow, it's a really fun film to see him kind of go through this whole thing to get there.
All right, what's next?
Jack Cole writes, what intellectual property, game, book, etc. would you like to see be made into a movie that hasn't been made yet?
Black Star.
That hasn't been made yet. Which one's Black
It
Star?
wasn't a game. It was a property, but it was pretty much what they based He-Man off of.
Oh, sure. It was like, but they were cowboys. Yeah.
No. Black Star was he was, I forget if he was like an astronaut or what he was, but it was like this mighty sword. Look up Black Star, by the way. It's
But they had cowboy hats.
Not that.
Am I just
Silverhawks? Maybe you're thinking
maybe
of.
I'm thinking of something.
But Black Star is one that I think could be interesting, and I think it's Mattel.
I'm still waiting for Splinter Cell. Let's get on it, man.
I'm waiting for GoBots.
Oh, GoBots.
No, I'm not.
No one. wants to
Okay,
see
what's
GoBots.
next?
Ben Thompson writes, I saw an article that there's a Wicked movie coming. Just wondering if it's true. Thanks.
Yeah, I heard that as well, and it's I don't know what stage they're at in the development. I also heard they're going to turn. Makes sense. It was a big phenomenon as a stage play. It's a good story to tell. The whole notion of the Wizard of Oz world is fair game as long as you don't copy other people's material while you're doing it. It's fair game. So I think it's going to come. But I have no idea.
Not Mila Kunis playing.
With not Mila Kunis playing.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay, two more quick ones.
All right. Jeremy Gold writes, are you guys disappointed we never saw a School of Rock 2?
Nope.
Nope.
No, if it would have happened, I would have liked it to happen a little earlier.
I would have gone to see it if it came out.
If
but
it came out like a year
Yeah.
later, School of Rock 2, I would have seen it. But
now it's just weird because all those kids are probably
and also
drunk.
it's why a second one? It was like perfect for one movie.
Yeah. All right, last one of the day.
Kai writes, hi, Collider crew, keep up the good work. Like John C. said, I too love Best of the Best. Do you think a remake will ever get made?
I do, look, you could, but look. Hey, here's the thing about Best of the Best, which is like so awesome. But when you break it down to its components, it's totally awful. They somehow found a way with the right mixture of cheese and awkwardness and weirdness, whether it's, Eric Roberts or whether it's James Earl Jones, whatever, that somehow took this awful recipe and made something delightfully delicious. I don't know that you can do that again. I mean, I'm fine with it if you want to remake it. Go ahead. If it sucks, I still have the original. That's great. But the building blocks aren't there to make a great movie. They somehow fluked into making an awesome movie with Best of the Best that I don't know that you could be lucky enough to redo.
What if you did it with MMA?
Again, I don't know that you could fluke
hard.
into making that good.
Yeah.
I mean, MMA would be the way to do it now. You'd have to have America versus England, or America versus Canada, or America versus
Russia.
Russia, or something like that.
What was that kid who would do the horse, the ninjata?
What's it?
Ninjutsu, or what was it?
No, ninjutsu is the actual thing. Ninjkata? No. Something like that, yes.
Yeah.
Where he was an Olympic thing, and he mixed that with martial arts. Gymkata? Gymkata is what it was called.
But that
Sounds
should
like
be
my next door neighbor.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.